Hello again, crochet friends. Welcome to Crazy Cool Crochet. This is Sylvia, and in this project for the Crochet Bucket Hat. And they're still super popular, and this one is really different, very unusual compared to other bucket hats that you see out there. But of course, this is Crazy Cool Crochet, so I like to change it up. So for this particular crochet bucket hat, I'm using a number 4 yarn, both of these, and of course they're different brands, and that's absolutely okay. We'll need scissors, and the hook is an H or a 5 millimeter. And we're going to start with a chain of 4. And then join with a slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. Now chain 3, and we're going to work 9 single crochets into the hole, if I can find it, right there. And do work your tail around the ring as you're working your double crochets. So 9 double crochets. Whoops. And we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of that, chain 3, and then chain 3 again. Now we're going to double crochet into the first space, and then front post double crochet around that next double crochet post below. So all that is start your double crochet, go behind that post. Okay, so through that space, behind the post, back around to the front, grab your yarn, 3 loops on the hook, and continue your double crochet. Now double crochet into the space immediately next to the stitch you just worked. So right next to that front post double crochet, a regular double crochet. And now a front post double crochet around the next post. Single crochet right next to the stitch you just worked, regular double crochet, front post double crochet around the next double crochet below, double crochet right next to it, front post double crochet around the next double crochet, continue around. You will end that row with the front post double crochet, and then join into that beginning chain with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now double crochet in the first space, and notice we're not turning, we're just working in the round. Okay, so double crochet in the first space, double crochet in the next space, front post double crochet around the front post double crochet below. So grab that yarn, go behind the post, back to the front, grab the yarn, pull it up, complete the double crochet. Now, as before, double crochet right next to the stitch you just completed in the space, right next to the front post, and then double crochet into the next space, front post double crochet around the front post, double crochet right next to it, double crochet in the next space, front post double crochet around the front post, and continue around. Okay, and once again you'll end that row on the front post double crochet, and then slip stitch to join, chain 3. Okay, so on that first row of the front post, row 2, we had 18 total stitches. In row 3 that we just did, we had 27 total stitches. And we're not counting the turning chains in those counts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now repeat for the pattern. So double crochet in the space, double crochet in the space, double crochet in the space, front post. Double crochet in the space, double crochet in the space, double crochet in the space, front post, all the way around. At the end of that row, we ended with 36 stitches. So join the beginning chain with a slip stitch and chain 3. And I'm sure you know what to do. Double crochet in the first space. Double crochet in each space until you get to that front post. And now double crochet around, or front post double crochet around the front post double crochet, and continue around. The end of the row, again, end on the front post. Join with a slip stitch, chain 3, and we would have had 45 stitches worked. Okay, now again repeat for the pattern. So you're working the double crochet in each space, front post double crochet around the front post double crochet, and continue around. Okay, so we ended row 6 with 54 stitches worked, and we ended on the front post as usual, and I've already started, and then we joined. I started that chain 3, but what I want to show you is the way we've been increasing. So we started with the 2 double crochets in between the posts, then 3, then 4, and now we're on 5. So we've got 5 double crochets between each post. That's where we're going to stay. No more increasing. Okay, so now we have to pay attention to what we're doing on this next row. Okay, so double crochet in that first space, 2, 3, 4, one more, and now we're going to skip that next space and we're going to work our front post. We're going to skip the space right next to the front post and front or double crochet into the next space, and in each one, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the front post. Okay, so again, skip the space right next to the post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, front post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, front post. So we're staying with the 5 double crochets between the posts. So at the end of that row, we had the same stitch count as the previous row. And now we will continue with that same stitch count through row 10. Between the posts. Now, let's continue on with the show. And I really need to say this. As I was working these rows, I started to cry. I was tearing up at the idea. This is my grandmother's original design from the 70's. And it blows my mind. She's been gone almost 30 years now. But the idea that my mom found her hat recently, this bucket hat, and that I'm recreating it, decades later. It just blows my mind. I mean, it's just, oh, I don't know. I'm so emotional right now. But let's keep going. This is such a cool design. Now, what we are going to do is work 4 rows of single crochet. So now this band of single crochets is going to be worked in black. So to close up that last row, we're going to start that slip stitch, and we're going to complete the slip stitch with the black. Tighten it up a little bit by pulling the strands, chain 1. Now single crochet into this first stitch. We are working under the 2 strand chains, or the 2 strands that forms the chain at the top. Okay, so we're not going into the space. We're going under those 2 strands. Now we're going to start over here. There's the first one. And then just a regular single crochet into each stitch, all the way around. When you come back around, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet into each space. I'll show you that when we get there. Okay, I'm back where I started. I have 56 stitches, 56 single crochets. Don't worry if you're off by like 1. That's no big deal. Okay, so now we're going to join back where we started with a slip stitch as always, chain 1, and now we're going to work single crochets this time into the space. It's still technically under the 2 strand chain, which, okay, yeah, we're working in black. You can't really see the chains, but you can see the spaces easily. Okay, so single crochet in each chain all the way around. I mean, in each space. Let's not get each other confused here. Okay, I'm the one confusing you. Okay. Okay, single crochet all the way around. When you come back around, slip stitch where you started to join the round, and then continue. So we're doing a total of 4 rows in the black. Okay, now, if you did not cut off that white yarn, which I did not tell you to do that, and I didn't do it either because I just forgot. Go ahead and cut it off now. We don't want to bring it up this way. We're going to cut it off, leave a tail. There we go. Now that we're done with the last row of the black band, we're going to join the row with the white, with the slip stitch, and then chain 1 with the white. Tighten everything up, just pull on the 2 strands. Now we're going to work 6 rows of single crochet, but we're working with both strands of yarn, both colors. This is where my grandmother got creative. So single crochet in each space with 2 strands. Easy, but what a cool effect. So go all the way around, join with a slip stitch as always when you come back to the beginning, chain 1 and continue. Okay, a couple of things that need explaining. I ended up doing an extra row on the brim. So I did 7 rows of the single crochet instead of 6, and this is just because I wanted it to fold over a little bit more. When you put this on, you have the option to roll this up. Okay, so I went with 7 rows. Then I went ahead and did the last slip stitch, chained 1, left a good tail, cut off the 2 colors, and then I just brought it through a few stitches on the inside to weave it in, and then I tied it off. I knotted it and tied it off. Okay, so now to wind the yarn around the front post double crochets, that's the finishing touch. That's the magic. Okay, so now we're going to use 2 strands of the black. So what I did is I grabbed 1 strand from the inside and then the other strand from the outside of the skein. Okay, so pulling from the center and then pulling from the outside. Cumbersome. This is going to be cumbersome, creating the swirls. So what I did was I took 2 strands of the black and cut it off the skein. I grabbed about 5 feet, I want to say, in length and cut it off the strand, or off the skein. Then from underneath, okay, leave yourself a tail as always. So from the top, I grabbed the yarn, the 2 strands, pulled it up. There's the tail. Then I shoved it back down, for lack of a better term, through the space. Okay, so you're going to hook over this part here. And just either shove it in or use your hook from underneath. Whatever works for you. Okay, so see that? So from underneath, you can pull it through so you have a tail. You've got your 2 strands, okay? Now we're going to bring those 2 strands around the top. I'm trying to stay in the shot, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm feeling with the hook. Okay, so I'm going to want to eventually be under the front post. Okay, but for now we go next to it. You're looking for your 2 strands, the 2 long strands. I'm using my fingers underneath to hook it onto the hook. I'm cheating. And then pull through 2 strands. Now go under the next front post. Grab the 2 strands, pull it through. Okay, I like to swing it over. Like that. Go under the next front post. Bring those through. Swing it over. Next front post, bring those through. And there's the last one. Now, take your hook right near the edge of the black and pull the strands through. Okay, now we need to come back up the next row of front post double crochets. Okay, so now let's go underneath here. And I'm going to bring it through. You can just go like that and leave this whole thing here, but it's just too long. So I'm going to bring it through the 2 strands, through some of these stitches, just to get it closer to the front post row. There's the front post. And here we are. So now let's see how this is going to work. Okay, so keep doing that till you get to the top again. Okay, when I got to the top, I took the 2 strands and put them through that center hole. So now your strands are back inside. So now we're going to work down the next row. So find your 2 black strands, hook them onto the hook if that works for you like it does for me. And now work your swirls. Under the front post, grab the 2 strands, pull them through, and you know what to do from here. Okay, swing it over. Under the next post, grab your strands. Okay, so once you get to the bottom, just keep repeating. Okay, so we'll go through and bring your 2 strands through a few of these stitches. Find your next row of front post double crochets, bring it back up. Now at some point, very soon, hopefully we've got enough slack here to finish this row. I'm quite certain that we do. So when you're underneath, you may have to tie 2 more strands from the skein so you can keep going. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with this. And we are done. What do you think? Please, please tell me below in the comments your thoughts on this crazy cool crochet bucket hat. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you to my grandmother. Her name was Conception. We called her Abuelita Concha. Now when you put this on, you can flip this over, make it really cute and stylish. Oh, I love this. Now just to show you a little contrast here. So my grandmother's hat, it curls up on its own. I don't know why. But you can also wear it flat down. You can do that with mine, of course. So you can just wear this flat, and it gives a whole different look. It's more of a flapper look. It's kind of cool. Or like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Don't forget, there's a thanks down below. If you, below the video in the white space, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you really like the video, you can contribute to my little tip jar, as I call it. When you click that thanks button below, that pops up a little window where you're able to give me a thanks by way of a little bit of a donation to what I call the tip jar. And for that, I'm so appreciative. All right, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Beautiful.